And let's try that again. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Midlife Crisis. So it's Friday night, and we're back with the Invictor Warsuit. Last week we did I did all the metallics. If you tuned in watching, and tonight I'm going to be going on to paint some of these armor details. I've still not added the armor yet on the knees and on the thighs. I thought I'd leave that until I get a bit more of this done, but yeah, certainly got plenty to be getting on with tonight. So yeah, we're going to sort of plough through, see how far we get, and hope to have a bit of fun along the way. But before I do anything else, I better put on them tunes to go along with our sprues. And I'm going to switch back to, there we go. And I'm going back to the old metal this week because it was nice to have a bit of rock for a change, but it was all a little bit too chill for my liking. We're doing a big stompy robot, so let's have some big stompy music. Right. So where shall we start? I think, yeah, let's just crack straight on with this. So one thing you'll notice is I did all the dry brushing and washes and stuff on all the other metallic detail, but nothing yet on the body. And the reason for this is I'll give the whole lot a metallic wash, a wash with Nuln Oil as soon as it's all painted. So I'll do the whole lot in one hit. Okay. So as I always do with my Space Wolf stuff, I start off with a sort of an undercoat layer of the thang. So yeah, it's quite an old pot. Not got a huge amount of it left, but I do have another pot just in case we run out. Yeah. Right, I've got stuff absolutely everywhere tonight. I don't quite know what I'm doing. Feeling a bit underprepared right now, but oh well. Let's see how much of this we can get up. I'm using quite an old brush. Just want to get a good amount down in my palette. There's a new word. Palette right into my palette. I'm going to add, I don't need a lot of water with this, although it's a base, it's not actually that thick. So what we'll do, turn that upside down there for a bit and see if we can get any more paint out of it. So start off with these bits across the armour here, and I am deviating slightly from the box art with these, and that's actually intentional. I sort of kind of like what they've done with it, but also there's some bits that I didn't like, so I'm not copying the GW colour scheme blow for blow. So yeah, as always, I like to keep the channel as interactive as possible. So let me know how you're doing in the comments. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of blue, a lot of grey painted tonight. So let's have a bit of chat while we're at it. one nice thing with this being so opposable, for want of a better word, means I can just sort of take a look over these sections, move it around a little bit, make sure I get really nice coverage. Again, babe, this is an undercoat, so not too worried about being exact with it, but I say that as I'm doing nth level of detail around here. Can't help myself, unfortunately. Yeah, this is definitely a hobby for the OCD sufferer. Okay. So one thing that I find quite important when doing large amounts of base of a single coat colour like this is keeping the brush sort of constantly cleaned. The paint will dry into the bristles really at the same sort of rate as it dries into the what do you call it? Yeah, as it dries on your model. So I know it probably sounds a bit what you're telling us that for, but yeah, it's quite an important step. Often gets overlooked. Okay, I was sort of wondering what to do with the grip on this, and in fact that will be so much easier. Thank goodness for magnets. Just pop that off. Yeah, I was thinking over the grip what to do with it, and I thought actually it'd be quite nice having that in the Space Wolf colours, and I'll just yeah, it just makes it a little bit more interesting. I must admit, this model I am enjoying a lot more than I expected to be perfectly honest. I wasn't, yeah, I don't know what I thought about it, to be honest. It was a bit of an unknown, you know. I've got my eye on a dreadnought. It's one of the venerable dreadnoughts. Is definitely something that I want to be adding to my wolves. But yeah, the Baby Walker thing was yeah, a bit of an unknown, and like I say, I'm actually really finding myself enjoying this as the weeks are going on. It's interesting enough as a model. It's got enough interesting parts to keep me going, but it's not got so many that I just get literally bored of of painting it, which happens to me a little bit more often than it ought to, really. There we go. Now, one thing, if you've been following my channel a lot, you'll know that usually when I'm painting rank and file Space Wolves, I tend to do a wash over the fang before I start adding on layers of Russ and Fenrisian Grey. I think I'm going to avoid doing that this time round. Really, I just want to try and get a really neat job with this. I've got some nice sort of aged looking on the weapons where I've dry brushed it, and I want to try and keep that vibe going, so I might do a bit of pin line washing, but yeah, still sort of trying to decide whether the armour panels have been brushed to an absolute sheen, or whether they're just left looking pretty, yeah, looking fairly basic, so, and a bit scuffed up, but we'll see. I was always told it's easier to dress down after the event than to dress up when you get there. So we'll start off by doing him looking pretty good on the painted sections to start with, and then we'll add weathering to him until I feel sort of satisfied it's the right sort of amount. Starting to get a bit low on this. I think it's going to be second pot fairly shortly. Yeah, one of the things I've been thinking about with this is just to make sure that we get consistency. So we've got his hand here that's going to be holding the bolt. I'm going to swap this brush because that weird angle on the tip is starting to really bug me. What are we doing with this? No. Yeah, small paste brush, that's probably going to be better. Yeah, I don't have a tendency to stick with just one brush or just even one makeup brush or anything. I like. I'll use a different brush to do the same job, sort of over and over, and it's just, yeah, it depends. In fact, a lot of it is depending on how I'm feeling on the night, and as I talked about before, I've got sort of quite shaky hands, which is something that I just have to bear in mind when I'm painting. And get a bit more light in here. Yeah, happens to you when you get older, all you whippersnappers out there, but I actually had shaky hands right from when I was quite young. So yeah, just spend time sort of adapting my painting style depending on whether I'm having a good day or a bad day with them. Yeah, I mean, really big shout out to Black Magic Craft, because he did a video where he talked about shakes. Quite a few months ago now, and he opened up about his own struggles with it, and actually that gave me a lot of confidence to be able to start not only painting with a lot more confidence, but also gave me the confidence to actually start to paint like this online with you guys, and it's yeah, it's really changed my hobby time, so I'm very, very grateful. And I suppose what I'm trying to say is basically, whatever level you're at, just enjoy your hobby, paint what you feel comfortable doing, and never feel like you've got to paint like Golden Demon painter. As long as you're happy and have fun while doing it, that's the name of the game. You know, I'm a miniature hobbyist, not a career artist. So if something stops being fun, I stop doing it. Simple as. Gosh, I've got deep tonight, haven't I? That's a bit early for getting that sort of introspective. It's been one of those weeks this week. I suppose, you know, you just crack on with life and roll with the punches. But yeah, I've been really looking forward to tonight, actually, getting in, chatting with you guys, and just having some fun with this stompy boy. So, you know, as always, feel free to say hi in the chat. This is, yeah, so this channel's about my hobby, but it's my hobby that I'm sharing with you guys. So, yeah, please feel free to chip in. Okay, just looking at this, actually, there's a cool sort of shape down here on my hand. So and I've caught that now with the fang, but I think I'll go back and just tidy those up. It's sort of quite nice to have those little bits of sort of serrated edge to go along, and yeah, see them a bit clearer on here. So I'll be a bit more careful on this side, I think. Let's see what we got. Should be fairly easy to drop a little bit of non-oil in there as well, just pick out that detail again. Yeah, sorry if I'm being not overly chatty, just I've got my tongue sticking out the side of my mouth, so I'm concentrating not to make a mess of the job I've already done there. There we go, that's looking good. Happy with that. Okay. So, do I want to do anything with these? Actually, quite liking the idea of... No, don't know yet. Haven't made my mind up. We'll yeah, we'll see how it goes, and perhaps make some adjustments later. Right, let's start on the big stompy bit, shall we? That's what I'm going to do. Just going to yeet off that little missile turret. Clean off the brush just a little bit and see if I can get any more paint out of this little pot. So, oh, that is pretty empty. Still obsessed with getting every little bit out there, though. See what we can do. So yeah, I hope you're all having a good evening tonight. As I say good evening, depends where in the world you're from. You have to remember it's a global hobby, which is one of the really nice things about this. Doesn't matter where you're from, we can all talk the same mini toys. So yeah, I hope you're having a good time, staying safe through the chaos that is 2020 Mark II. Still not acknowledging that last year actually happened. I'm not sure it did, to be honest. Right, I want something a bit more beefy for this. So I'm just going to try and cover the majority of his armour panels first with a large brush that perhaps looks more like it should be used for house painting, but I find it quite nice to use for this. And we'll, I'll go back in with a smaller brush and just tidy up the bits where I've messed, and big brush, pull out all the paint that I managed to get into that part in the first go. Yeah. Right. Ooh, the satisfaction of opening up a new pot of paint. Let's see where is it now? No, that's my crag blue. Don't want that. Yes. Still sealed. Made in the UK. Oh, and a new paint is born. Okay. It's just getting too silly. Oh, I've just been past drinking this wonderful tankard that my nephew bought me for Christmas. So let's paint Warhammer while drinking out of my Warhammer mug. Does it get any better than this? Just trying to be really careful here. I don't want to catch any of that lead belcher that I've done. I'm quite sure what to do inside these cockpits, but I think with this one I'm going to go. I've done them before on other vehicles and I've kept sort of inside with things like Mechanica Standard Grey, but with this being such an open vehicle, I think it's good to try and put the different yeah. There we go, that's better. Just lifting a little bit of that. Nice, just thinking, we're getting a bit of ministry tonight, sounds like this is. It's called, oh, it's Soulfly. Wow. I thought I knew most of Soulfly stuff, but this is a new one on there. I must have missed an album somewhere. But again, you get to my age and you sit and talk about the days when you actually saw Max Cavalera in Sepultura. some time ago now. Saw Max Cavalera and Igor Cavalera at, which festival was it? Download a few years back, and they did. We sort of just played tracks off routes, which was really, really cool to see that being played again, because it's been a long time since that album came out. I've great memories of seeing Sepultura on the Roots tour. Yeah, following Max Cavalera's departure, they never really managed to reach the same sort of levels that they'd done up to then. I quite liked Sepul Nation. That was quite a good album. Right, I'll switch to a smaller brush now because I'm going to start making mistakes with that. What I'm a bit frustrated about is I've got a great I had a great brush by Army Paint. Their Monster brush was absolutely perfect for this, but I didn't really treat it well, and it's a little bit broke these days, so use that for washers and yeah, remembering how a brush should look. Okay, let's go back to our Citadel base. Yeah, that's one of the things I was saying last week, because I was doing some of this black on here, but I wanted to try and get this sort of mounting between the where the arm connects and the main body actually looking quite well defined. I did my what do you call it? My Stormfang. It had sort of a similar thing, and I really just cheaped out on it and did the whole lot in lead belcher with an oil wash, and yeah, it looks good, but I think it could look better. I'm trying to get in there as much as I can. Of course, if I catch any of the Abaddon black here, then I can just touch that up again. I do find it's worth taking it slow at this stage and trying to get it right first pass. I mean, it's easy enough to put it right afterwards, but if you can do it right first time, it just saves a lot of pain later on. Okay, I like power metal, but this one is not doing it for me. That's better. Thrash metal's much more my my cup of tea. Of course, somebody will go, but that's not thrash metal. It's pink fluffy boot core or some of the such like. Well, let me tell you this. If you think it's some sort of strange sort of fluffy boot core metal, then you enjoy yourself. But I've been doing this a damn sight longer than most people have. So, oh, old man ranting. Really didn't think I'd get into that tonight. Yeah, what sort of music? I mean, like you guys, you know, what sort of music do you like to listen to while painting? You know, it's. I mean, I'll go from anything from this sort of stuff right way up to, you know, the other end of the spectrum, sort of listening to Pink Floyd, which I find, especially when I'm doing lots of fine detail, that kind of psychedelic trippiness is puts me right into a sort of gets the old creative juices flowing, as it were. But yeah, big stompy fighting robots. We want thrash. Can't beat it. Now, why am I spending so long getting me underneath? Absolutely sorted out, you might ask. And I think you've got a good point. I'm just a bit too OCD with this stuff, really. I like to make sure I've got the whole miniature. If you pick up one of my miniatures, you can look at it from any angle, including holding it upside down. And actually, you know, still see all the attention to detail. It's so. Why am I painting me underneath with so much detail? Because it's a matter of pride. Yeah. It's looking good on that side. Let's do it all over again. Hee hee. Bit more paint, though. Still not got my wet palette yet. Keep toying with the idea. I think it's probably going to have to be my next sort of main miniature investment, because I'm definitely starting to see the benefits of being able to keep paints hydrated for longer, and especially overnight. I've got a lot of stuff in my palette which I've mixed some really nice colours and wanted to use the next day, and of course I dried solid. There's only so much you can do with sellotape and cling film, unless you're MacGyver, at which point you can actually build a whole aircraft. But hey, that's a topic for another day. Actually, when I think about MacGyver, I've got to got to think now. Things worked and things only work in MacGyver world because he believes them. Does that mean MacGyver was actually an orc? Interesting. Comments below, Orc-Gyver. Oh, I can't get that image out of my head now. So yeah, sometimes my bizarre thought processes go down trains that I wish I could not have done, but there we go. Orc-Gyver. I love this band, Surma they're called. They were cropped up on here a couple of weeks ago when really remind me of sort of a cross between Nightwish and Epica. Hey, come back, Stompy Dave. So yeah, I'm going to have to look this band up. With a name like Surma, I want to say they're going to be Finnish. It could be Swedish, but it'll, yeah, I don't know. It just sort of strikes me as sort of a sort of Finnish breed of melodic metal. Which Finland over the years produced some cracking bands, even if very, very underrated. Oh, nice. I really wish I hadn't put these aerials up the back yet, because I'm in constant fear that I'm going to snap them. Do really with mounting this on some sort of base where I'm not going to catch those aerials, but we'll see. I dare say they'll be snapped before the end of this project because I'm ham-fisted, as you all well know. Ooh, nice use of guttural there. Now, I've been listening to sort of black and death metal since the late 80s, you know. It's but I do struggle a bit with this kind of guttural stuff with the vocals. Just, I don't know. I like to be able to understand what people are saying, even if I can't read the band name because it just looks like a load of tree roots. But I really struggle to actually make out words. Now, maybe you can tell me, is that because I'm getting old? Or actually, is it because the vocals are more of an instrument than a feature, and the lyrics are fairly incidental? Love to know, because I do worry about maybe I'm too old if I'm like, yeah, sing properly, boy. Oh, Sepultura never did that back in the day. At least I knew what Danny Filth was saying, even if I didn't want to. I've definitely hit the old man grumbles tonight. Don't know what's up with me. Of course, if you're watching this on the review back, you'll wonder what the heck I'm talking about, because the sound, you don't get the this wonderful music if you're not watching it live. Thanks to Twitch's, now what do they call it? Twitch music? Is it Twitch music? Oh, come on. Twitch soundtrack, that's the one. Okay. I love this Mechanicum skull on the back here. I'm going to do that quite nice. Looking forward to doing quite a nice sort of black and white sort of feature with that. Must admit, there was a bit of me that was thinking about, with this being Space Wolves, you know, should I replace that with sort of with a wolf skull? But actually, I think even the Space Wolves respect the Mechanicum cult. So yeah, we'll keep that as is. Trying to be really careful around here now with the still trying to work out actually how much of this to do in the Space Wolves arm and how much to actually leave in the metallic, but having just spent all that time being really careful, yeah, I think I'm going to continue on and do this bit in with the with this blue as well. Yeah. more. I like these Citadel brushes, but my biggest problem with them is I think the Citadel Brussels. No, the bristles on them are a bit too short, so it's too easy to get the paint up into the ferrule, and I find that I tend to trash these brushes so quickly. Do like the fact the Army Painter ones are just that little bit longer, and it's just a bit easier to keep them looking good, keep a good point on them. But I think, as I've already said, for this kind of stuff that we're doing here, it's not critical to be 100%. Because I will go back and just correct anything, and again, it's one reason why I didn't put any washers on all the lead belts here on the main cockpit unit, because I wanted to make sure I got it all right before I put those washers on. Because it's one thing to touch up a colour you've painted on, it's another thing when you've got to rewash and highlight. You've had a bit of an unexpected slip of the brush. It's really starting to look good now. Really pleased. Actually wondering about actually trying to get in here now. Right, I'll use a finer detail brush to get in and tidy those up, I think. Okay. Right. Although I haven't put the main sort of leg and hip armour out on this boy yet, I have got a couple of plates, so I've got this one here. I just need to switch my focus just for a moment. I find if I spend too long just working on the same part, then I go completely stir crazy. Yeah, I have the attention span of a squirrel on Red Bull. I'm always so impressed when you see people who can slam their way through these minis and do like in an hour. You know, it'll take me about 6, but like I said, you know, everyone's hobby is slightly different, and this is where I like to do mine. So I'm not saying any way is right or wrong, it's whatever brings you the most pleasure. This is more sort of the old school black metal that I'm used to listening to. Sounds like he's gargling gravel, but I really like the cork base I put this onto. I'm not happy with his positioning on the base, so might have a think about that and actually see if I take him off and remount him. Unfortunately, when I was building it, I got the angles of legs slightly, so I need to have him sort of coming down a slope. I might have to just take this off camera for a moment. Sorry, guys. Just can't quite see the edges on there, so let me just do this quickly off camera. Just so I've got a better angle. There we go. Let's just give the brush a bit of a clean out and oh yeah, let's get the front bit of the papoose baby walker type fang painted. Still haven't made my mind up yet whether I'm going to actually glue this shut in place or have it opening. I kind of like the idea of having it opposable the way that it is and being able to sort of move it around, but at the same time I just think this is for tabletop gaming, and the last thing, well, you know, when I think about what am I going to be doing with it, will the marine that sits inside this suit ever need to come out on the tabletop? Is there any benefit for having it openable? Not quite sure. Yeah, interested to know what you guys have done with your Invictor suits, whether you've left it so you can actually open the cockpit up and take the marine out. I don't know, maybe it'll look good if when it gets destroyed, leaving it on rather than taking it off the battlefield, you can leave it on as debris. Even then, I think I would like to see my marine has gone down with his ship. this was going to happen. I'm going to have to touch these up then with a lead belcher. But what I'll do is I'll do the, yeah, I've still got to do the, what do you call it, the fang highlight on this. Not the fang, the rust grey and Fenrisian grey highlights. So I will get those bits done first. Oh, I'm really torn here because I'm not quite sure what to do for our sides here, whether to actually leave that in the Here's the thing now, I'm going to start trying stuff just to see how it looks. Actually, that does look good. And we've got those sort of cog-like teeth. Yeah. What we'll do is just leave the silver. Yeah, there we go. That's it. That's what we're after. He leaks out a lot, I do. I say, guys, everyone's been very quiet tonight. Grand if somebody just let me know I'm not talking to myself here. Say hi. Oh, don't drop it. That top block. Just trying to work out this top block here. Now everything else is done. Do I need to do that? Okay, while I think about that, let's have a look at our little frag launcher here. Silver and black. really hope this doesn't turn out to be 2 hours of me just painting one colour. The old saying, it's like watching paint drying. Well, actually are watching paint dry in this instance. Grab a bit of blue tack for this little swivel base. I think I'm going to need to stick it on one of my old straws. What have we got left then? Can't be much more left to do, surely. Inside of a cockpit, I just feel like we have a bit to dry a little bit first for that. What I'm going to do, this plate at the front. I have to look up because I want to do something funky with these Promethium canisters. Not quite sure what yet, but I'll have a bit of a look into different things we can do. What I love doing with miniatures like this is we've got a lot of almost sort of monochrome, you know, sort of one or two colours is to put something very opposing, just one little thing that can just then really sort of make the miniature pop and just give it that little bit of extra zing, which might influence the dice gods when I'm playing. let's do the same on our stubber. Yeah, stubbordy toe. Oh god, I think I made that joke last week. Don't do that, Vic. Stripe it and see exactly how it's looking, because I'm not sure quite what to do with the joins here. Yep. So what we've got left, our pilot, which I really don't want to be doing, but I have to. Let's just start on him. Again, I think paint the whole model starting off in this, so it acts almost like an additional undercoat. But yeah, I just find that the Space Wolf greys, which the lighter blue greys, because they're layer paints rather than base, their coverage is can be a bit patchy, and I don't want it to come through black underneath it, but this gives a really nice sort of blue-grey undertone to the paint. So if it's not 100% covered, then it still looks good, because it gives it that sort of grim dark, you know, worn look, rather than just looking like I missed a bit. Even if the truth is, I missed a bit. Of course, if somebody can tell me why the hell I just painted his feet when it's about the only bit of him that I can actually hold, I would be very, very grateful. I'm definitely picking up a different faction to paint after I finish this, though. I've got starting to get a little bit bored of Space Wolf armour. thing, I must admit, I've had my eye on the Nurgle start collecting. Yeah, the start collecting box set, Demons and Nurgle, and had my eye on that as a sort of bit of a supplemental force to go alongside my Death Guard. That there's not a lot actually of troop options in Death Guard apart from having legions and legions and legions of Space Marines. I kind of like the idea of having something a little bit more, shall we say, arcane as part of that. No, Morty, I know he's doesn't like to embrace the etheric warp powers. Still as vehemently anti-Psyker as he was during the Accords of Nicaea. Which is ironic, really, when you think that he's ascended to demonhood and still. Typical management, I suppose. Says one thing, does something else to further his own ideals. Mortarian CEO of Death Corps. Actually, no. Don't want to align him with the Death Corps at Krieg, who are really, really cool minis. And even cooler on the tabletop. Right, there we go. Hoping this is kind of the last bit to get this initial base coat with. It's inside. Oh, there's lots of really cool detail in here, but will never be seen again. Oh well. Gosh, I really messed up when I painted in here. So close. So close, I can taste it. Or maybe I've just been licking my paint pot, which is always a danger. What is it? You're not a true mini painter till you've drunk dirty paint water. My other loves his motorbikes, and I was once told you're not a true biker until you've had your first accident, and I had an accident and I've ended up 10 years later needing a hip replacement. So as a lesson to you guys, if you're riding motorbikes, try not to have accidents because they come back and haunt you in later life. Spending so much time in here because it's all going to be obscured when the lid goes on, but never mind. Already gone over why I do that. Try and get a bit of a point if possible on this rather beaten up brush. Just, yeah, it's not going to happen. sometimes useful just to switch to a much finer brush. So, whoa, not straight from the pot, you idiot. Yeah, I need to do it, definitely. Right, this is starting to really come together now. Put those up like that, and I can get around and do the other side of these. Ah, I've not done that side underneath at all. Okay. Right. Definitely getting some more of this now. Hey, Soviet Grommet, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. You still got your Gretchens going. Nice. Yeah, man, I've been having a lot of fun with the Indomitus Bladeguard Ancients. I'm on to about week 3 of painting those bad boys. And they are absolutely turning out wicked. Let me show you what I've done on those. You might like these. There we go. Still got heads and stuff to do, but done all my little mods on these backpacks still to go on them. You can see the I loved the I got these little wolf skulls, which I don't know if you can see that I've gone on really nicely on those. Got the old Mackie D's on the shoulder there, so yeah, anyway. Yeah, those boys have been great fun to paint. Hey, looks like we're slowly getting lifting on lockdown, so from, what is it, about March or so? Oh, mate, I wish I was good enough to say yes, I'd paint them for you, but I'm, yeah, I don't think I'm quite at the level of taking commissions yet. But I'll tell you what, we're not far off lockdown being eased and actually able to meet again. So when we can, let's get that game going. Let's have a combat patrol splat and yeah, have a bit of fun. Oh, he's a nightmare. Of course, once I finish doing all this in the Fang, I've then got to go around and do the whole bloody thing again in the rust grey, but it's all good fun. Yeah, it's starting to look quite tasty actually. let's finish off inside this cockpit, and then I can paint with a different colour. Woo! Here we go. Hey, come back. I think this might be the last little bit to do. Oh, no. You can see all in there needs doing. Again, back to that bit that I'll never see, but I'll know, and it'll bug me. Yeah, because I've got that side done neatly. Let's just get in here. Now, of course, this will take about a day or so to properly dry, so even though it may be sort of touch dry now, the paint is still not fully adheres to the plastic and will rub off very, very easily. And the amount of times I've sat there and done a really nice sort of paint job just to put my greasy gamer fingers all over it and rub the paint off before it's actually had a chance to fully dry. Oh, I'm seeing all these little pipes in here. Gonna have to see what we do with those little bad boys because they're looking quite funky. I like that. Little bit, a few touch-ups doing tomorrow. That's okay. We'll take it as far as we can tonight. go. Right. Whew. First coat done. Hey. Thank God for that. Oh, just going to stretch a little bit. Stay hydrated. Stab myself in the face with my microphone, but well. Okay. So on top of her now, yeah, starting to come together. Right. Just because I want to see a little bit of contrast in there, I'm going to crack out the Rhinox hide and do that seat. I'm not going to be too precious about this on the inside. Still umming and ahhing about whether to even add the rust grey to the inside and actually just leave it as straight, sort of the fang, because I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out.
I can't finish a word without a style. I'm gasping for breath when I can't inhale. I'm pulling at straws with a toxic. I'm burying my trouble.
This is a bit odd. I think I forgot to plug the guitars in.
I have to squint to see my reflection. Only to be met with my
Protein fire.
And in that moment, I know this world.
Right, that's enough. That's just too silly. Too silly. We're not going to do that. Okay. Just now it's starting to dry. I'm just spotting in a few areas where it's not quite done as well as I would have liked. There we go. We can see here on this side where I've been handling it is actually just on the very edge has caused the paint to come off. And that's just because we're working and it's not fully had chance to dry yet. think that is enough. I can grab out at least the rust grey. And let's start lining the whole lot up to give us that sort of typical space wolf look. Now, I'm going to need a stack of this, so let me stingy with it. Oh no, it's gone up into the ferrules. Clean that out really quickly. Oh, I hate that. Just scooped in too hard with that one. I'll take a nice dollop of water to mix in there as well. Just test that out on a palette. Make sure it's not too much on the brush. I want a nicely loaded brush, but I don't want it to be saturated. Let's kick things off with his little shoulder pad here. Yeah. Really nice consistency, but this is definitely going to need 2 coats to really get that solid colour in there. So I won't probably do the whole lot tonight. I'll do 1 coat tonight and then give everything a 2nd coat probably tomorrow. As I'm sort of getting on with my day. Right. Ooh. See, tonight's going to turn into a marathon session. I think ideally I'm going to have to let this dry a little bit, because I don't want to catch any of that lead belcher which has already been highlighted. So let's come back just to tidy that up in a bit. We'll do the same with this. So we'll do where we've got no easy place to hold it. I'll do first one side, then the other. still got this full of blue tack here, and what I'm going to do tomorrow is probably replace that with something like milliput in there and mount the magnets, so that will hold better onto the hands, and I'll do the same with the other one, so I can actually mount this on the arm without it falling off all the time. When I first put it together, I didn't have any 5mm magnets. I only had 2 and 3mm, which is just too small, just didn't have the power to hold it in. Okay. Ooh. Really got to resist the urge now to put this on too thickly. I mean, it's definitely, this always needs 2 coats, so I don't know why I try and rush it and try and get away with only one. If I want the good results, I've got to take my time with it. I must admit, I do keep thinking to myself if there's a quicker and easier way to paint my Fenrisian boy's armour, but the thing is I really like the results that I get doing it this way round, so I'm loath to change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as the old saying goes. I like the results I get, so I'm not overly up for trying to fix something that isn't broke. Get him there. yeah, if no one has got any ideas on how to get a good sort of Space Wolf armour in place, easier than or faster than the way I'm doing it in here, without using contrast paints, I just got to say, I think there are times when contrast paints are really good, but it's more if you're doing, for me anyway, it's more when I'm doing things like poxwalkers or yeah, some sort of troop where I've got a lot of them that I want to get done. Because wow, when I've got 30 or 40 poxwalkers to put together in one night, I don't want to sit doing edge highlighting on all of those minis when one shot and they are gone on the field. So yeah, definitely a case of that's where I'd use contrast paint, but not on something like this. Damn it, I think I've got a hair caught under there. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Yeah, definitely got something in there. Ah, damn it. Yeah, it's immediately starting to take shape now. I'm using the using this blue, really liking how it's starting to just bring everything together. Blue, blue grey. That's a stupid thing to do. Bit. Just got me in a bit here, which of course fits inside the bolt anyway, so it's a little bit pointless, but we'll keep going. There we go. Nice one. Okay, so we're coming up to the 2-hour mark, but I'm actually feeling in a bit of a flow here, so I might just keep on streaming, keep the music going. I think I'm probably going to need a comfort break fairly soon. Stretch and walk around, so maybe that'll be a good time to call it a night. Let me know if you want me to keep the stream going. Give me a hell yeah. If you're ready to kick back with some brews, then that's cool. I just noticed these plates at the back actually, not quite sure what to do, because he's going to have his knee pads on. I don't want to cover up too much of the metallic, because I do love the metallic, but just trying to think what would be left sort of function. I mean, to be honest with you, the Space Wolves would probably give it a quick spray and the company colour, and then pretty much that'd be it. All about function and what it's able to actually do in the field, as opposed to how good it looks. We're not ultramarines here. I thought this was Avenged Sevenfold for a moment. They're called A Great Danger, apparently. Abstract Endurance. I'm going to do that back bit. Now let's see how this is going to look if I do it straight over the... Might get away with that. Yeah, I like that. repair the handle. There we go. So yes, I think what I'm going to do is just keep going till I run out of this paint, and then we'll call it a night there. Just getting a bit thick now, I'm just going to add a little bit more water to it. I'm just being a bit more careful with this because I want to leave the recesses sort of a bit more defined. I mean, I will probably pick those out with a recess wash using Nuln Oil or Agrax Surf Shade. I'll see how the mood takes me at the time, but what I do want to do is try and make this as smooth as possible, basically with the understanding that I know I've got to do a second coat, so not to get too hung up if it looks streaky now. The next coat will definitely sort all that out. Oh, I love Cookie Monster vocals. This is cracking the band name, but even when I see it written out, I can't pronounce it. That's good stuff, that is. There we go, that's looking alright. Pop it onto its side so I can actually get into the cockpit here. starting to come to the end of this now. The paint that I've got mixed up, and it's yeah, we're at the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to wrap up fairly shortly. But yeah, actually really enjoying myself right now, so we'll keep going a little bit longer. Make up for the short session that we had last week. What I'll do over the course of the next week is I'll give this a second coat of the rust grey and tidy up any mistakes which I've made tonight. And then next week we'll get on to doing a few more of the details and some of the highlights on the model. I'd like to try to get fairly close to the main model being reasonably completed by next week, because I want to have a bit of fun with the base. Yeah, like I say, I put together that sort of cork base that it's currently sat on. I think I'm going to lift the model from it and just remount it, because I think it just could do with a bit slightly better positioning. I mounted it using super glue, so getting my hobby knife underneath there should help me just to lift that. And yeah, I've got some cool ideas for the base, and no spoilers tonight on what I'm going to do with that. You're going to have to keep tuning in and see where I take it. But yeah, like I say, I am definitely planning to have a little bit of fun with the base, and I really want this to be a bit of a sort of standout miniature of the army. So not quite a diorama, but you know, still something that's playable in on the table, but definitely a little bit more than some rocks, ice, and fake snow. But that being said, I probably am going to raid my fish tank for some more choice bits of gravel. Of course, making sure it's well washed. Okay, I think I'm probably as well over. I'll probably do a couple more streams just on Twitch over the next week as well. So if you want to make sure that you, I don't know what you call it on Twitch, for notifications, follow my channel, then you know, tune in. We won't be doing any more on the Invictor Warsuit, but I've got a few other projects on the go, which I think I'll stream those, and it'll be more of a more of a sort of hangout session than working through specifics, but please feel free just to join me, chill out, say hi. We can have a bit of have a bit of fun during these weird times we find ourselves in. Okay. And with that, my paint's done. I'm done. Let's ditch for tunes. I can find my mouse again. There we go. And I will see you guys later on next week. Until then, stay safe and keep on painting. Bye for now.